I'm Rose. Tonight, I invite you to drift with me into the depths of the ocean, to explore the mysterious creatures that call the darkest corners of our planet home. These survivors adapted to extreme environments, and they show us just how resilient life can be. From ancient sharks that have been swimming around for centuries, to tiny fish that thrive in waters so cold they should be frozen. Their stories are as fascinating as they are mysterious, so let's begin our journey now with the Greenland shark. This shark is a slow-moving giant, a shadow in the deep, older than the modern world itself. Some Greenland sharks alive today could have been born in the early 1600s, before telescopes could see Neptune, before the invention of the steam engine, before humans even fully mapped the oceans they live in. Until recently, no one knew how old they really were. Fishermen in Norway, Iceland, and Greenland knew about them. They would occasionally catch these massive, sluggish sharks, noting their unusual behavior. They seemed strangely indifferent, slow-moving, almost as if they were half asleep. For most of the 19th and 20th centuries, they remained largely ignored by marine biologists. Why? Because they live in some of the deepest, coldest parts of the ocean, making them incredibly difficult to study. It wasn't until the 1990s that scientists began to take a serious interest in the Greenland shark. Researchers noticed something strange. These sharks were massive, but their growth rates seemed impossibly slow. That's when marine biologists started to suspect that they might be ancient. The groundbreaking moment came in 2016 when a team of researchers led by Julius Nielsen used radiocarbon dating on the eye lenses of a Greenland shark. Much like tree rings, the proteins in their eyes don't change after they form, so scientists could analyze them and estimate their age. The results? Some of these sharks were at least 400 years old. That made them the longest living vertebrates ever discovered. And what's even more fascinating, they don't even reach adulthood until they're about 150 years old. Imagine a creature spending a century and a half just slowly growing up in the depths, unseen and unbothered. Scientists believe their slow metabolism is the key to their longevity. The freezing Arctic waters have forced them to evolve a life strategy of extreme patience, drifting, conserving energy, feeding on whatever they can find, even whale carcasses that sink to the ocean floor. They are the ultimate survivors, silent, slow, and untouched by time. Now let's travel to the Southern Ocean, where the water is so cold most animals would freeze solid in minutes, but not this one. Meet the ice fish, a creature with colorless, almost ghostly blood that defies everything we know about survival. The ice fish was first discovered in the early 1900s when whalers working near Antarctica noticed an unusual-looking fish in their nets, one with strange pale flesh and nearly translucent blood. At first, no one thought much of it, but in 1927, British scientist Darcy Wentworth Thomas examined the species and noted something unbelievable. These fish had no red blood cells. Decades later, in the 1950s, scientists studying Antarctic marine life realized the answer. Icefish had developed a unique anti-freeze protein in their blood. Instead of relying on hemoglobin, they absorbed oxygen directly through their skin and used antifreeze proteins to stop their bodies from turning into ice. This adaptation lets them thrive in water temperatures as low as 28 degrees Fahrenheit. Waters that would freeze most other creatures solid. And because of their slow metabolism, they don't need much food. They live off of krill and small fish, moving lethargically through the icy depths. A creature that has rewritten the rules of biology, proving that life always finds a way. Now let's meet the most mysterious survivor of all, a creature that seems to break the very laws of nature. The immortal jellyfish. This tiny translucent jellyfish was first described in the 1800s by marine biologist Franz Vogt, but at the time it seemed fairly unremarkable. It wasn't until 1992 that scientists studying jellyfish behavior in the Mediterranean noticed something strange. Instead of dying like most creatures at the end of their life cycle, these jellyfish were reverting back to their juvenile form, as if they were pressing a biological reset button. This process, called transdifferentiation, allows the jellyfish to revert to its polyp stage and start life all over again. And in theory, this means it could live forever. Of course, in the wild, most don't. Predators, disease, and ocean currents eventually get to them. But the fact that they can regenerate indefinitely, that's the closest thing to biological immortality we've ever seen. Scientists are still studying them, hoping their secrets could one day help humans understand aging and even regenerative medicine. As we drift off to sleep or go on with our day, let's think about these extraordinary survivors: the Greenland shark, the ice fish, and the immortal jellyfish. They have endured centuries, adapting to the most extreme conditions on Earth. They remind us that life is resilient, mysterious, and full of wonders we're just beginning to understand. So as you close your eyes, imagine yourself floating with them, slowly, weightless, in the vast, silent deep. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and make sure to stay curious.